We're going to talk about Chennedy Carter, but it looks like she's blacklisted. And she will be playing professional basketball during the season, but it won't be for the WNBA. Seriously, she needs to do whatever she can to get some help, get her anger under control, where she will not have another incident like the one where she slammed into Caitlyn Clark. She's out of the league.
Could one single moment, one explosive decision on the court, truly cost a player their entire career in the world's top basketball league? For one of the WNBA's most talented scorers, the answer seems to be a resounding yes. Just weeks ago, while her former peers were gearing up for training camp, the leading scorer for a major WNBA team wasn't signing a lucrative new contract or preparing for the spotlight. Instead, she was making headlines for joining a professional league in Mexico. This isn't just a player changing teams. This is a top-tier talent seemingly exiled from the league that should have been her home for years to come. It begs the question, how did it all unravel so spectacularly?
Despite the solid fourth season from Carter, an incident with Indiana Fever guard Caitlyn Clark stood out to many. The 2024 WNBA Rookie of the Year came in the league, became arguably the most popular player. There, I cleaned it up for you, which may have rubbed some people the wrong way, including Carter. There's no doubt Chennedy Carter is extremely talented, but she's got to get her head screwed on straight.
And if the hit itself wasn't damaging enough to Carter's reputation, what came next would prove catastrophic. Because when the cameras turned to Carter postgame, giving her a chance to explain or perhaps apologize, her response would pour industrial-strength fuel on an already raging fire.
Did she knock Caitlyn Clark to the floor? We all saw it, a flagrant foul. And many people, including myself, thought it was borderline assault. It was awful.
The cameras kept rolling as Carter entered the post-game press conference, offering her the perfect chance to reset the narrative. One well-crafted statement could have changed everything. An apology, an explanation, even just acknowledging what happened might have softened the blow.
Her and Clark. I mean, that's clearly...
The fuse was lit on June 1st, 2024. The Chicago Sky were facing off against the Indiana Fever, a seemingly routine game in a long season. But with tensions already simmering and the score tight, something happened that would become instantly infamous. As players transitioned down the court after a Chicago basket, Chennedy Carter and the league's undeniable golden goose, rookie sensation Caitlyn Clark, crossed paths. What followed wasn't a typical defensive play or even a hard foul born of competition. It was different, deliberate, calculated. Carter altered her path, veering directly into Clark and delivering a jarring hip check that sent the unsuspecting rookie sprawling onto the hardwood. The collision was so forceful, so clearly outside the flow of the game, that it elicited a collective gasp from the arena. On the sidelines, caught by the cameras, Angel Reese could be seen reacting immediately, jumping and clapping. Officials initially called a common foul, but everyone watching knew it warranted a closer look. They huddled around the monitor, the moment stretching into an eternity as millions around the world waited. The verdict came back, upgraded to a flagrant foul, a clear indication that the contact was deemed non-basketball in nature and potentially dangerous. While others might have anticipated retaliation or an argument, Clark's reaction was telling. She simply rose, composed herself, and kept playing, a picture of veteran poise in the eye of a sudden storm. This stark contrast between Carter's aggression and Clark's calm only amplified the drama, shifting the focus away from X's and O's and onto intent, behavior, and the shocking visual replay.
A foul, which was called. The question is, will they call it unnecessary? Chennedy Carter.
The moment unfolded after a Chicago basket. As players transitioned to the other end, there was a brief window where Carter and Clark crossed paths. Nothing unusual in the flow of a basketball game. But what happened next was anything but routine. Carter, seemingly going about her business, suddenly altered her trajectory. The change wasn't subtle, it was deliberate, calculated. She veered directly into Clark's path and delivered a hip check that sent the rookie sprawling across the hardwood. And let's not forget Angel Reese caught on camera jumping and clapping on the sidelines immediately after the contact happened.
This was originally ruled an away from the ball foul, but it was obviously a flagrant foul. It really upset a lot of people, which really escalated the issue. And it was really just poor sportsmanship on Kennedy's part.
Even a normal hard foul. This was something different, something that made the arena collectively gasp. The live broadcast caught every second of it, and you could hear the commentators' voices shift from game analysis to genuine shock. What was that? Became the immediate question rippling through the crowd as Clark hit the floor. Officials didn't hesitate to blow the whistle, initially calling a regular foul. But even in real time, everyone knew this deserved closer examination. The referees huddled around the monitor, reviewing the footage that millions would soon be dissecting on social media. Their verdict? Still a common foul, but was then upgraded to a flagrant foul the day after. Official confirmation that the contact was non-basketball in nature and potentially dangerous.
It was what happened after the game that truly began to seal Chennedy Carter's fate. The post-game press conference offered a golden opportunity, an open mic, a chance to explain, to apologize, or at least acknowledge the incident. A carefully worded statement could have diffused the tension, perhaps even spun it into a narrative about competitive fire. Instead, when asked directly about the play involving Caitlyn Clark, Carter delivered just 7 words that would echo far louder and longer than any hip check. Looking directly at the reporter, she stated flatly, "I ain't answering no Caitlyn Clark questions." That dismissive, defiant refusal ricocheted through the basketball world at lightning speed. Within hours, sports analysts who might have debated the merits of the foul were instead dissecting Carter's attitude and apparent lack of accountability. What could have been a one-day story became a week-long firestorm focused squarely on her character. Her unwillingness to address the situation, especially when contrasted with Clark's mature and understanding response. "Basketball's competitive, I get it. Emotions get the best of you. It happened to me too." Didn't just raise eyebrows among fans, it raised bright red flags among the people who make the decisions in the league.
So she was signed to the Chicago Sky with Teresa Weatherspoon, with Angel Reese, with Camila Cardoso, and, the rest of the folks. And then we get to the body check.
The collision wasn't a typical basketball play. It wasn't.
It's one thing pushing Caitlyn Clark, and it's another thing blindsiding her. Like, I don't think there's no justification for that. Like, to be honest, we can be honest here.
What's particularly telling about this incident wasn't just the hit itself, but Clark's response to it. Where many players might have jumped up ready for confrontation, Clark simply rose to her feet, composed herself, and continued playing. No theatrics, no escalation, just a rookie showing veteran poise in a heated moment. This contrast between Carter's aggression and Clark's composure only amplified the narrative taking shape. Analyses of shooting percentages and defensive rotations were abandoned for frame-by-frame breakdowns of Carter's movements. Was she targeting Clark because of her rookie status? Was this personal? Professional jealousy? The questions multiplied while the basketball itself became secondary.
Something's got to wake her up too. Something's got to wake her up and say, man, I could be in the WNBA right now, starting on a team, being their leading scorer. I've got to get my temper and my head under control. I got to figure it out somehow.
What nobody realized in that moment, not Carter, not Clark, not anyone watching, was that this 5-second sequence would fundamentally alter Carter's career trajectory. This wasn't just a bad decision in the heat of competition. It was the beginning of her professional unraveling.
And then Kennedy just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that moment between you and Caitlyn. What was that play, what was said, and kind of what led to.
Next question.
Yeah, play before Caitlyn. It seemed like she turned to you a little bit.
Yeah.
After
I ain't answering no Caitlyn Clark questions.
Did she say anything to you?
I don't know what she said.
What'd you say to her?
I didn't say anything.
That's enough. We're good.
She's good.
Those 7 words ricocheted through basketball circles with remarkable speed. Within hours, sports analysts who might have defended the on-court incident as just physical basketball found themselves unable to justify Carter's post-game attitude. Her refusal to address the situation turned what could have been a one-day story into a weeks-long examination of her character. And while the hip check had raised eyebrows, this response raised red flags.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it, but I think it's just like, just respond, calm down, let your play do the talking. It is what it is. It's a physical game. Go make the free throw and then execute on offense. And I feel like that's kind of what we did, but you know, it is what it is, I guess. I don't know.
What makes Carter's response even more damaging is how it contrasted with Clark's own handling of the situation. While Carter dodged responsibility, Clark told reporters, "Basketball's competitive. I get it. Emotions get the best of you. It happened to me too." One player demonstrated maturity and understanding. The other showed a startling lack of accountability that left league executives whispering.
The perception problem quickly escalated beyond social media outrage. Team executives and league officials, the very people who hold the keys to WNBA careers, were watching and taking notes. In professional sports, talent is crucial, but it's almost never the only factor. The question being whispered in front offices wasn't, can she play? Her skills were undeniable. It was, is she worth the disruption? Carter's dismissive post-game attitude reportedly caused internal friction within the Chicago Sky locker room itself. Teammates and coaches were said to have reacted negatively to her comments, creating chemistry issues in what is fundamentally a team sport. The damage wasn't just public, it was personal and organizational. When a player refuses to acknowledge behavior that reflects poorly on the entire team, it erodes the trust necessary for success. The radioactive label, anonymously attributed to a GM discussing her free agency prospects later on, wasn't born out of thin air after the Clark incident. It represented a growing consensus among league personnel that her talent came with significant, undesirable baggage that could poison a locker room.
And there has not been a peep about anywhere that she could be landing in this free agency. So a lot of people, including myself, are wondering, is she worth the risk now?
I mean, she can score. She can score with the lights out. I mean, she can. She's pure offense, a pure shooting guard, scoring guard, an instant offense. But if you're a team, do you really want her on the team? I wouldn't.
I think a play before, maybe I was elbowed. Okay, that happens. Think the next play down, maybe something was said. And then maybe there was like a little clip of somebody like yelling in my face. And then we go down the court. Then I hit like a little bucket, you feel me? Come down, hit like a little nice little mid-range pull-up. And then I just like, you know, just give her like a little like, I'm here. Like, you know, I don't think it was, you know what's crazy? Me and my brother went back and watched, and we seen a lot of clips in the NBA of guys getting like pushing LeBron. Like, I think it was Jeff Teague or somebody who like pushed LeBron out of bounds, like said, man, I was mad because like we couldn't stop him. So I'm just like, it's like one of those things, like it happens in basketball. I know people try to say, oh, it's not one of those things.
It's not a personal thing. It's a competitive thing.
It happens in basketball, and like it's just one of those things. But like, yeah, it's kind of what happened. Then it spiraled out of control.
And then the media takes whatever narrative they want to put out.
You watch every game, every single game, to see if you can find any deflects in my game, and like it's really nothing that you probably could say too much about. So then you have trolls, and that's why I said they're gonna be around regardless. But yeah, it was just like a nice little like tap, like I'm here, not to like harm you or anything. You know, if you want to push somebody, you're gonna like full force.
This wasn't the first time warning signs had appeared around Chennedy Carter's behavior. Long before she ever crossed paths with Caitlyn Clark, WNBA insiders were aware of a troubling pattern. Turn the clock back to 2021, during her time with the Atlanta Dream. Midway through the season, the team took the significant step of suspending her for what they vaguely termed conduct detrimental to the team. This wasn't a minor disciplinary slap on the wrist. It was a mid-season benching following an unspecified argument that disrupted team harmony. The Dream's decision to sideline one of their talented young players sent ripples through the league, effectively marking Carter as someone with potential chemistry issues. After Atlanta, she was traded to the Los Angeles Sparks. Despite her continued scoring ability, reports indicated that Carter received reduced playing time specifically because of poor conduct. The Sparks coaching staff clearly prioritized team cohesion over maximizing her individual scoring potential, choosing to limit her minutes rather than deal with the behavioral concerns. This recurring theme, exceptional talent, consistently overshadowed by questions about her temperament and conduct, began to form a narrative around Carter that few players can overcome in the close-knit WNBA.
I mean, that happens, man. Like, it's one of those things. I'm a great player. She's a great player. It looks a certain way. Everybody's going to have their views on it. But my personal view is, I don't have anything against her. She's a great player, and so am I. And I've got buckets all that season. You know what I'm saying? So, just one of those things that, I love it, though. They think I hate it. I love it. I love when it gets riled up and juicy like that.
You feed off of like what people say and shit, and it makes you more motivated.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm telling you. Oh, yeah, I love the hate. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She did. She stopped and went through. Like, oh. Like, that is not... We watched the clip. There is no way that we're letting this happen. Like, saying that it was nothing, like this is not just a tap.
This is crazy, and this changes everything, because all this time we've been waiting on Chennedy Carter to take responsibility for what she did to Caitlyn Clark. It shows me, I ain't even gotta watch all this footage right here, but I am gonna look at it. But it's showing me right now that she still is not taking responsibility for her actions. She's finna blame this whole situation on Caitlyn Clark supposedly talking smack to her.
Turn the clock back to 2021, when Carter was playing for the Atlanta Dream. Midway through the season, the team suspended her for what they vaguely termed conduct detrimental to the team. This wasn't a minor disciplinary action. It was a significant mid-season suspension following an unspecified argument that disrupted team harmony. The Dream's decision to bench one of their talented young players sent ripples through the league, marking Carter as someone with potential chemistry issues.
And the talent was absolutely undeniable. During the 2024 season, her last with the Chicago Sky, Chennedy Carter averaged a career-high 17.5 points per game, leading the team in scoring and appearing in a career most 33 games. She shot an impressive 50% from the field. These are the numbers of a primary offensive weapon, a player any team needing scoring punch should be desperate to sign. On talent alone, multiple WNBA teams should have been lining up with competitive contract offers as free agency approached. Her abilities were never in question. The paradox of her situation was stark. A 26-year-old scorer entering her prime, with stats that demanded attention, yet league executives viewed her through a different lens entirely. The radioactive label, extraordinary for a player with such offensive prowess, highlighted the chasm between her on-court skill and the off-court concerns that now dominated her professional identity. The question wasn't about her ability to put the ball in the basket. It was about her ability to be a functional, accountable teammate and professional within a demanding environment.
Atlanta Dream did suspend her in the middle of the sophomore season, basically saying she was a detriment to the team and the team culture. So then the Atlanta Dream decided to trade her to the Sparks, the Los Angeles Sparks.
Full scoring.
I mean, good luck. Good luck. I don't know who's going to take her. I don't know what teams are going to take her. No, I don't think she's going to the Indiana Fever. I mean, yeah, bring her in after what happened. I don't think so. During the 2024 WNBA season, guard Chennedy Carter emerged as a key player for the Chicago Sky, leading the team in scoring with 17.5 points per game, a career high. She would still be probably their best pure offensive weapon if she was still on that team. Now, there's a world where Camila Cardoso, and I've said this, will be their best player this year, provided they allow her to ball, or provided Angel Reese gets the hell out of the way, one of the two. Fast forward to Friday, Carter, who saw her one-year deal with the Sky come to an end, has yet to sign with the WNBA team. With training camp right around the corner, Carter has elected to join a different league as she awaits another shot at the WNBA. Chennedy Carter has taken her talents to the Mexican, and I'm not even trying to pronounce that, the LMBPF. Long story short, it's in Mexico, and it looks like a women's Mexican basketball league, professional basketball league.
The ultimate consequence of this long-simmering pattern, ignited by the Clark incident and fanned by her post-game defiance, became glaringly obvious when the WNBA free agency period began. The Chicago Sky, despite Carter leading their team in scoring just the previous season, made the stunning decision not to extend her a qualifying offer. Think about that. They willingly let their most prolific scorer walk away for absolutely nothing in return. This was not a basketball decision driven by X's and O's. It was a clear statement about values, team culture, and the baggage Carter brought. They essentially announced to the rest of the league that her scoring wasn't worth the perceived disruption. And in a truly telling development, not a single one of the other 11 WNBA teams stepped forward to sign her. As rosters were filled for the upcoming 2025 season, Chennedy Carter remained unsigned, a top talent conspicuously left out in the cold. After more than 120 days in free agency, without a single contract offer from a WNBA team, the door to the world's premier women's basketball league officially closed for her, at least for now.
After more than 120 days of free agency without a contract offer, Carter's WNBA exit is now official. She signed with Adelitas de Chihuahua of Mexico's female basketball league, essentially signaling the end of her time in the world's premier women's basketball league. The Mexican team proudly announced her signing on Instagram, highlighting her achievements and welcoming her to their roster.
She's joining a women's basketball league in Mexico. The WNBA thing looks like a wrap for her for now. And in case you're wondering, she averaged 17.5 points a game last year and literally shot 50% from the field for the Chicago Sky. And she's 26 years old. I get it. I mean, she's got to lay in the bed she made. And, I mean, I don't know what's going to be a wake-up call. I would hope Chennedy Carter would turn her focus of all of her anger into something positive and she would become a great WNBA player. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen this season. Chennedy Carter, she got a new job. Adios, amigos.
You almost have to admire the commitment to the bit. After watching the replay hundreds of times, most viewers can clearly see Carter changing direction specifically to make contact. But suddenly it's being described like an accidental brush in a crowded elevator. This late attempt at damage control raises the question, why break your silence now, months after it could have helped, with an explanation nobody believes?
Can you break down that situation that happened?
Yeah. So, in basketball a little bit, there's things called talking, what you like to call smack or whatever everybody likes to call it.
Yeah.
Plays before things are said, that's a part of basketball.
And so, with the WNBA door shut, Chennedy Carter has made her move. After months of speculation and silence regarding her professional future, she has taken her talents south of the border. Reports and official announcements confirm she has signed with Adelita de Chihuahua of Mexico's professional basketball league, the LNBPF. For a player who led a WNBA team in scoring just months prior, this move represents a significant step down in terms of platform, prestige, and competition level compared to the WNBA. While she will almost certainly be a dominant force in the Mexican league, her talent hasn't vanished. The question looming over this transition is whether it's a temporary detour on a path back to the WNBA or a permanent shift in her career trajectory. Could this provide the wake-up call needed to address the behavioral issues that have plagued her? Only time will tell. But for now, her professional path has taken a dramatically different and unexpected turn. Chennedy Carter's journey serves as a potent public lesson in the evolving culture of the WNBA. Her story isn't just about a controversial foul or a defiant press conference. It's about the intersection of undeniable talent and concerning off-court behavior, and the ultimate price of failing to prioritize accountability and team cohesion. While Carter heads to Mexico to rebuild her career in a lower-profile environment, the WNBA continues its dramatic ascent, propelled in part by the very player Carter hip-checked. Caitlyn Clark and the Indiana Fever are shattering attendance records, driving unprecedented viewership and creating a surge in merchandise sales, including an astounding 11-fold increase in overall player merchandise revenue, primarily fueled by her jersey sales. The contrast couldn't be sharper. One player's trajectory defined by controversy and exile, the other by immense popularity and league-wide impact. As the WNBA strengthens its professional standards and emphasizes skill and character, the message sent by Chennedy Carter's exile is clear. Talent alone won't cut it anymore. What do you think this means for the future of player accountability in professional sports? Let us know in the comments below.